Welcome to Yoga Download. I am Christen, and today we're going to take a look at halfway lift, which is called Ardha Uttanasana. Ardha means half, which is why it's called halfway lift, and Uttanasana is the word for forward fold. And so just by translating the Sanskrit into English, it's sort of like half a forward fold. A few weeks ago, a student actually came up to me and one of my co-teachers and asked us, why do we do halfway lift? It's called plenty of times, probably 20 at least, in every single vinyasa class, every power class, and sometimes it's hard to relay because it's a quick pose why it is that it's there. And for me, there are two reasons why we take halfway lift. The first is probably the most important and will help educate you on the alignment of the pose. The first reason is that it prepares us to take chaturanga. So the spine that we find in halfway lift, the upper body then comes into chaturanga before taking that step back. So it's a preparatory pose. The second reason we do halfway lift, especially as we travel to the top of the mat, is really just to neutralize the spine, to bring the spine back into its natural curve before coming into another forward fold or taking it up toward a back bend. So now that you understand Ardha Uttanasana, or halfway lift, I'd love to discuss a couple misalignments. And please know that if you realize that you've been misaligned, you haven't been messing it up, but hopefully you can find some new grace as you practice this pose. All right, so here it is. The most common misalignment happens particularly with my friends who have strong hamstrings. And so you're in the forward fold, and what you see often is this, sort of a half forward fold. There's still a roundness in the spine and just sort of like hanging out. And what we're really looking for in halfway lift is a long and neutral spine. The second misalignment is a jammed neck. You often can find that you want to look forward. If you practice in front of a mirror, you like check yourself out. And if you're not practicing in front of a mirror, you might hear the cue to look forward. Forward really means forward of your feet rather than at the top of the mat. We want the back of the neck to be in a neutral position as much as we want any of the other parts of the back. All right, so now let's take a look at the pose from bottom to top. I'll do it once on my own, hopefully for your benefit, although you just saw it, and then we can practice together. So for halfway lift, you're almost always gonna link it with a forward fold, and a forward fold is a nice place to educate yourself about the pose. So in typical vinyasa classes, the toes begin together. And so we'll start with feet together in forward fold, and the inner ankle bones reach down. The kneecaps lift, so the quads engage, and the backs of the legs open. For many people in forward fold, though my legs are straight, forward folds can often look like bent knees. That's all right, but we want quads fired and inner thighs moving back. The cue for halfway lift is on an inhale, so you'll press through your feet, make strong legs, inner thighs back, draw your navel in, lengthen the low back, bring the ribs in, make the collarbones broad, and lift your shoulders on toward the spine. My fingers can rest on the earth, but I recommend taking fingers to shins and really pressing hands to shins so that shoulder blades can unite on the back. My gaze is at the floor in front of me, and exhale, we take the forward fold. So now come to your own mat, bring your feet together and drop your heavy head. Let's practice Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Chin is in, head is heavy. Set your feet up like mountain pose. Press your feet down, draw ankles back. Lift kneecaps, lift your navel. Reach wide through the inner thighs. Your sitting bones are broadening. Then with the navel in, inhale, lift halfway. Draw the navel in, lift the chest. Draw the ribs in, maybe fingers to shins. Draw the shoulder blades onto your back. Crown of head forward. Take one more inhale. See if you can get longer in the torso. Exhale and forward fold. That's halfway lift. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I'm Christen and namaste.